Okay, hello everyone. We are now recording our third podcast.
Yay!
Yay! It's February 24th,
It is.
2015.
Oh.
I don't know about that, but yeah. Oh,
It's the year of that movie. The one with the car. What's the one with the car? Oh, Back to the Future.
oh yeah,
Right.
it is, and yeah.
Well, there we go.
Actually, it's the year of Back to the Future 2.
Has anyone seen that movie?
Yeah,
Like, I mean, recently?
we own it.
no.
Yeah, I did watch it a few months ago.
Or Back to the Future 2, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
it's the second
That's
one
what I
where
mean.
they go into the future.
I watched it kind of recently. It's pretty interesting. It's kind of fun, like, seeing what is going on with their prediction of the future and our prediction of the future. Sometimes, I don't know. So anyway, pink, the color pink. What do you guys think?
It's
On a gi, on a karate gi, or whatever. What do you call that thing? Is it
a
called
gi. Yeah.
Why is it called a gi?
It's Japanese word,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, particularly on Dan's gi, it's like somehow I still find it funny. I don't know what's going on. But like
He's
Pink,
comfortable
pink
with his
is
masculinity.
pink is good for some things
He's
and then
comfortable
not
with his
for other things.
Yeah, he is. But I mean, pink is awesome. But it's like, it's part of. There's like a thing where I was thinking of like, it's interesting because it's like why do I find it funny on him? And maybe it's just because it's the loudest color or something that he could possibly go with.
I actually there's.
I mean,
some
maybe
other,
there is some sort of like.
there's some other color options that are kind of louder to me, like
Yeah, like neon
the
green
neon
or
green and
something.
stuff. But
Yeah.
it just
Maybe
doesn't
yellow.
like to be Dan. You have to wear pink.
Is it really like an anti-feminine thing? Do you think with the joke,
No.
No,
or is it like some sort of like homophobic thing?
I don't think so.
All
I think
it
it's
was
just
A joke, probably. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's
they're
just
just-
what it was.
Well, it's
Well, like, what
it
kind of
probably
joke?
it
Joke?
probably
Is it
has
like-
something to do with the fact that pink is thought of as a feminine color, and he's like
Weak.
the worst fighter,
Yeah,
and he's weak and
it could
stuff.
be.
I
I don't know. Yeah,
I
was
it's
thinking about that
probably
because,
something like that.
right
He's
because
supposed to be a combination of SNK's Joe and Robert from Art of Fighting, who
he wore a pinky.
no, he wore orange, and
Oh.
Robert wore like a weird vest and pants or whatever.
Okay.
But it was supposed to be like Capcom's making fun of SNK's sort of ripoff of their own
Right.
new character.
Right.
And yeah, if you look at Dan's face, it sort of looks like Robert's face with like the ponytail and everything. And of course, the fact that he throws his Godoken like super short.
Maybe
is
it's
like
maybe
an Art of
it's
Fighting
just-
where they wouldn't throw him very far if he didn't have enough power or whatever. It's all just jokes upon jokes, making fun of the other companies in not so subtle ways. And
Right.
But yeah, it's probably
Yet he still
it's-
became popular.
It's probably some BS about it being a feminine color and he's weak
Right.
and obviously
I don't know.
women are weak.
which
Is that what you think they were
I mean,
thinking?
you look at Chun Li,
I
she
think-
can kick
yeah,
people
but
in
yeah,
the doors.
then you
it's
got
probably
the same game.
It's probably just given the time that the game was made that
under thighs.
I always
Break
thought it was.
rocks.
I still think it's. I still think it's pretty cool that
even
he's-
though all the female characters are stronger
I think
than
it's
him.
perfect that it's pink. It's like the most obnoxious color he could choose to wear for some reason on him. Like or that with the type of joke that's going on with him. Like that's the. I don't know. That seems like the. It's
Of course, Dan's mindset is basically, I'm the strongest and I'm going to prove it. And then he
Right.
gets his ass kicked time
Right.
and time
I-
again,
I
but it's
wonder if-
also...
I think it's awesome that he
keeps
decides
going.
to do.
Well, I wonder if it's almost like that's the front he puts on, but he's probably insecure deep down.
Yeah, I don't know if he's insecure. He seems pretty secure with himself. He's just
Well,
bad
no,
at
that's
fighting.
the bravado that he puts. it's all a lot of times people that act that way
actually insecure
insecure
inside.
and they're
Act what way? Oh, what you mean? Like because he's like full of himself?
Yeah.
of course.
yeah.
Right, but he's pretty. It's awesome. Like I think it's great that he goes with the pinky at least.
For all we know, he could just be sponsored by Pepto-Bismol.
Yeah,
The only thing I know is that if
Boy,
you're
did
gonna
they bet
fight
on the
as
wrong
Dan, then
horse.
you better wear pink because that's Dan,
yeah.
not
Yeah.
any of those other weird colors.
As every Street
Is
Fighter
is,
could have,
is
like,
orange one of the options?
I think so. In Street Fighter 4, I'm
Because
pretty
you can,
sure.
because then you
Well,
can
there's
make
a lot
them
of colors in that
with
one,
the
so.
the
Yeah,
Rio,
in Street
the
Fighter
Rio
4, you
color
can
scheme.
give them every fighter any color you could probably think of. So, yeah. I mean, they
Yeah.
literally gave him some of those same moves and the way he uses them.
And
but-
Jokes upon jokes.
is he in Street Fighter 2 the movie?
No.
Okay.
No, yeah.
Is he in any animated anime
He was
thing?
in the Street Fighter Alpha
Okay.
animated thingy they did,
Okay.
which I don't even think he was that big of a part. It was more like a cameo where it's like,
Yeah.
hey, here's Dan and Adon fighting for a minute because we have to because
Yeah.
it's Street Fighter Alpha.
Yeah,
And
'cause-
then Dan
Does-
gets beaten. And
Does he
then
cry?
He might. It's been a long time since I've seen it. I don't even remember, but I would bet he's crying.
Because I was bringing it up because I'm feeling like for some reason it still rings as funny to me, but maybe that's like some sort of like residual like homophobic thing that I've learned or something. Like, well, I mean, you guys know that, you know.
Maybe you hate Pepto Bismol.
Right.
I don't like it.
I love Pepto-Bismol.
Oh,
It's
no.
delicious.
Yeah.
I'll
No,
just drink it for fun.
It makes me
Right.
gag thinking about it. It's like, this will
Right.
help your stomach.
Yeah.
Drink, barf. Wow,
like-
I don't think it helps.
It's like bubblegum flavored chalk.
Ugh, God. Just the texture and the taste and the smell. It's like medicine, but stale medicine. And it's just, why is it pink? That's the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a question. Why is Pepto Bismol pink?
Right.
Well, you could get the off-brand pink bismuth.
Oh.
But again, it's pink. Why? What makes it pink?
If I puke, will my puke be off
Food
brand as
coloring.
well?
Food coloring makes it pink, probably.
Then that means they're doing
Hopefully.
it just to make it pink.
Or else they
which-
actually,
why?
something they
It's
probably.
not like-
I
makes it
think
pink?
it actually is bubblegum flavored, so they're making it pink to make it bubblegum.
You don't eat bubble gum. Like,
some people do.
no, like not on purpose. I never understood anything that's bubblegum flavored, and they make all kinds of crap that's bubblegum flavored. But bubblegum is gum. You chew it, you spit it out, you don't
Right.
eat it.
Right.
Yeah, but it has. Well, you still get the flavor from it, though.
I don't want that flavor though.
I
It's
don't
Yeah,
either.
it
I don't
is a
either.
horrible
I don't
flavor.
either.
I don't really
sugar
care
and
for it.
pink.
Yeah.
But the only thing that should
Pink
be bubblegum
flavored.
flavored is bubblegum.
Right.
Yeah.
Just like the only thing that should be banana flavored is bananas, and the only thing that should be root beer flavored is root beer.
Yeah.
Root beer candy is awful.
Yeah,
Have you ever had root beer
yeah,
candy?
no. I
like
don't
those
like
little
those
root,
little-
root beer,
I love root beer
barrels
candy.
and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Ew, God.
They just don't
No, that's-
taste right.
Well, it tastes like flat root beer
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Wow.
because you're not getting the carbonation with it.
Right.
It needs the carbonation to taste good to me.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I dig it. Whenever I eat those root beer candies, I like it. Hey. Okay. So I was thinking maybe we could talk a little bit about what everyone's history is somehow with maybe I don't know if we're gonna focus on video games or whatever, but we could go into some of that. So anyway, Jason and Lauren, tell us about who you guys are. What are you? Where have you? What was growing up like in wherever you guys were from?
It sucked. Next question.
Where are you guys from? For the audience that we
But you
might
don't
have
have to
at some
say
point.
exactly where you're from.
We're from
just
a
say-
place.
Yeah. Who are you guys? Tell us
We're
about
people.
you guys.
We're from a place.
Okay.
We exist.
What is it like in this place?
Or do we?
Is it like is it a magical place? Do you guys?
Yes,
No.
it's a magical forest.
It's a forest. Okay, cool, awesome. What else about it? What the kinds of things can you find in this forest?
A school of witchcraft and wizardry.
Okay. Does anyone call this
talking
forest a
lion,
name?
perhaps.
Does anyone call the forest a name or what?
The Forbidden Forest.
The Forbidden Forest. Okay.
I'm just going off of all Harry Potter references
All
here.
right. So Jason and Lauren are brothers that grew up in the Forbidden Forest, and they do a lot of things.
This is all.
I am just imagining all
Hearsay.
any comments would be like, dude, what drugs are these guys on? I assure you, friend, we are painfully sober.
Yes. I'm on many drugs. Okay. Wes, hello.
Hi,
How are you?
I am fine.
Okay.
How are you?
Yeah. Okay. Tell us a little bit about who you are. Where are you from? What are you doing?
Where
was-
am I? What?
Start it somewhere. Start at the beginning. Back in the womb. Where was it? What was it like? Where was it? Where was your womb?
I
So there's a
remember.
big bang.
I remember the womb being small, confined, and moist.
Oh wow! You remember all the
Oh,
way that
and
far back?
also it was very dark.
What was it like coming out of the womb? Not the other one.
That was even smaller and tighter than the womb,
Okay.
and it was hard to breathe.
Yes.
And there was a light.
Wait, what was the other thing that was harder and tighter than the... Oh, you mean the vagina. Okay, sorry,
Yes.
never mind. Next thing.
Now we're going on to things that I'm not comfortable talking about because
And
well,
the podcast starts now. Welcome,
let's-
everyone.
we're gonna edit out that first 10 minutes or whatever it was.
You're one of the lucky ones to catch that early. I'm sorry.
Uh,
Today's topic:
Hello!
something not moist,
why are we talking about history?
or pink,
My...
pink and moist.
We were talking a lot about pink.
Right.
Ah,
Pink, yeah, well,
Well,
that's the
is
theme of the
pink
show.
still.
Yeah.
this episode is brought
I
to you
like
by
the color pink.
Everything
Okay.
pink.
Are we
That's
gonna
the only
talk
reason why I
about?
like Dan.
Are we gonna talk about video games or other things like that?
Yes. So I've been playing Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, great.
I haven't played Metal Gear Solid.
Boring!
Dude, what? You like Metal Gear Solid more than everyone else here.
Let's talk more about Dan and his pink outfit. No.
Alright.
I think
What-
that's
what
been
I'll just slip
beaten.
into a coma.
What if Metal Gear Solid?
That's
he
been
wore
beaten to
pink?
death with a baseball bat, and now
And a dead
it's
horse.
dead. And
Has it been beaten with a dead horse? I was thinking
It's been
so.
beaten
I don't know.
alongside of a dead horse.
Oh, okay. Alongside a dead horse. With a dead horse?
That's kind of the same
Okay,
thing.
what is
A
what is
dead
Metal
horse
Gear...
beaten with
what
a
is-
dead horse next to a dead horse on top of a dead horse in
Right.
a dead horse stable.
Right. What is a Metal Gear Solid?
It is a Metal Gear that is not liquid.
Okay. Does it
Or
have any...
gaseous.
or
Oh, what?
gaseous?
Did you-
Gaseous.
Gaseous? Oh, okay.
Gaseous,
Thought you
Like
said
a
something
gas
else. Okay.
or a
Gaseous.
salad. No.
or the stuff that comes out of a genie's butt.
Metal Gear
What is that?
Solid.
What happened there?
That's gas.
Oh, wow. Oh.
The,
Is
you know
it-
the
is
you
it
know the
special?
the smoke stuff that comes
Does another
out.
genie come out of a genie's butt? Like if it's
If you
Only
rub
if
it,
you rub
probably.
it.
No,
But you have to rub it just right.
Okay, all right. So now, okay, wait. Tell me about Metal Gear Solid. What did you think? How have you played through it already once or twice, or how many times?
Now, I've already played Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2.
Okay.
All the way through, maybe 5-6 years ago.
Right.
I got about halfway through the Metal Gear Solid 3 before I
Okay.
kind of got tired. But I
Right.
wasn't really sick of Metal Gear Solid 3 more than just I'd been playing Metal Gear Solid in general a
Okay.
lot at that point. So I was
Okay.
just kind of burnt out on
Wow.
it. But recently I went back and started playing Metal Gear Solid, the first one for
Yeah.
PlayStation.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's good.
I love Metal Gear.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great game.
I haven't played it.
Neither have I.
These are games
Actually,
that you
no,
should all
no,
play.
I shouldn't say that. I played a very small part of the first one, and I hated it,
Right.
and I was very annoyed by it.
Right.
And then
You had the Drew experience, but without Dan there to coach you on.
yeah, but then my brother got the Metal Gear Solid VR missions, and I
Right.
played all the way through it, and I loved it.
Right. Well, that's cool. I mean, the VR missions are awesome. What I love about Metal Gear is the storyline. That gets me. It's just basically like,
And I don't care.
it's like
So-
halfway. A lot of people criticize that game at first because it's very short. It's like, oh, you can get through it in like, if you're really good, you can get through it in like 5 hours or less.
I watched a guy beat it in about an hour.
An
and a
hour,
half.
right? I know. I've seen that too. He
Yeah.
used like the wall glitch and all that
Oh,
stuff.
I'm
But like,
sure that's all fine
Right.
and dandy, but I
Right.
always get stuck on bosses, and I suck at things
Yeah.
like that. So
All the bosses are
I just
really
get
tough.
annoyed.
honestly, it's like halfway a movie, halfway a video game, and it's an amazing experience if you can stomach the frustrating like learning curve sometimes, because it's a very unique game, sort of. At least it was at the time.
Even if I played before,
Yeah.
I went back and I found myself bumbling with the controls. It's like, wait,
Yeah.
he keeps crouching, and then like, no, oh the god, I got shot. Guard saw me. Oh well.
right.
The thing I liked about the VR missions is it just cuts out all the bullshit, and it becomes a pure puzzle game.
Right.
And that's what I liked about it. No boss battles, no fucking story that I don't care about, and it's just puzzle game. Get through this without being seen. Get through that without being seen. Blah blah blah. It was
You
fun.
fight Psycho Mantis, you get to plug your controller into the second slot, and then
I
you
don't
can kill him,
care.
and he says he reads
Yeah.
your memory card, and he says you like Castlevania.
It's just the weirdest
I
stuff.
don't care.
It's so weird.
I
It's
don't
awesome.
care. I don't care. VR missions is the best game in that series.
It's got the
even though I
weirdest
haven't
shit.
played any of
Yeah.
them.
I mean, VR missions to me is like Metal Gear without the story, which really is a big hamper. But I do like the gameplay of that. That was the VR missions was excellent. It had excellent gameplay. It's a good game, but I mean, with the added on like bullshit, completely over the top like action storyline. It's pretty amazing, and it weaves such a complex plot that it's like it's fucking incredible.
know, like-
it's so hard to even follow by the time you get through the second game. You don't even know what the hell happened at the end.
Isn't
Th-
that
this is
cool?
why.
That's great.
I mean,
That's the way I like
here-
my plots. I don't want to know what happens.
Here's why I have such a hard time with modern games. Like, the story is what makes it hard for me to finish.
Right,
Because
okay.
I don't care. I just want to get through the game. I don't want to sit through all this fucking movie shit. I don't want to listen to all the I don't care plot lines.
Right.
I
So-
want to either watch a movie or play a game.
Well, yeah,
Right.
when a game becomes more movie than game, I mean,
It's
what's
just
the point?
frustrating to
But
me.
movies are awesome.
Well, yeah, you got some good
well, I
movies,
want to
but
watch
you
a
can't-
movie.
you can't
If
make
I want to watch a movie, I want to
choices.
watch a
It's
movie.
like,
I
wanna-
always want to do the two things at once. So
Mr. Mole.
I
like
got a
when,
game
when,
for
when,
you.
when I'm in the mood for a movie, I want to sit back and passively intake media. I don't want to be involved with the
I wanna passively
controlling
intake
the
meat.
character in the story.
Imagine
Like,
if you're watching like the Avengers and it says push X now to or you die.
So what kind of games do you like, Wes? Games that are either video games or movies? You don't like the ones that are both? Jason, what was it like playing Metal Gear?
I'm not going to answer your bullshit question.
I will. I played Metal Gear Solid, and before I did a single thing in the game, I spent about an hour watching opening cutscenes.
Oh, good. That sounds awesome. That seems like a blissful, but I blissful
actually-
experience to me because I don't like pressing buttons. when I play a video game, I want it to show me what happens, and I want to maybe sometimes jam on X.
I
a little
actually
bit. I mean, wait a sec. For someone that says you like to play a video game more than you like to watch a video game, what the fuck are you doing playing Persona 4? That's like pressing X a billion times. That's all that game is.
I don't know what it is about that game that I like so much.
I like pressing X in it.
I think
What do you like about it, Jason?
The thing I
It's
like
a fun game for fun people.
You know what's really cool is if you press circle instead of X the whole time.
Why isn't it working?
You could press triangle.
I guess I should.
So
The
the company on your head.
Here's the
Jason.
thing about
No.
Persona 4.
Hey.
Here's the thing about Persona 4 is I watched a whole bunch of the endurance run on Giant Bomb,
Right,
and then I got invested in the characters
Right.
beforehand,
right,
and then that made me want to actually play the game.
right.
I don't know. It's just I think the gameplay is simple enough for me to not give a shit that it's mostly a story-driven thing.
Okay, all right, cool.
I like either pure gameplay or story-driven stuff that's very simple gameplay.
Awesome.
And it also helps that it's an RPG, like a JRPG.
Uh huh.
The gameplay in those is extremely simple, whereas I don't want it to get super complicated like it is.
What the hell is that? What's happening?
That sounds like a siren somewhere.
Fire trucks.
Okay.
But I don't like the gameplay to get complicated
Cops
like
are
it is
coming
in
to
Metal
shut us
Gear.
down.
Oh no.
And I don't like dealing with overcomplicated bosses that I get stuck on for too long.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of the bosses in Metal Gear Solid games are kind of crazy.
Yeah.
That's kind of why I like it, but it's also like every boss has this trick. It's like,
Yeah,
oh, this
they
guy,
got
you
a
gotta hide in the
gimmick.
corner and shoot him with a weird missile that goes through the wall and up and down, and if you don't do that, he kills you. Here's a guy with bouncy bullets, and you gotta, like, crouch in the right spot. There's always something. Like, the Psycho Mantis is the one people remember the most, because it's like, he's the asshole, you try to shoot him, and then, like, your screen cuts out, and all kinds of weird shit happens in the game. Oh, but if you plug your controller into port 2, all of a sudden, you can kill him fine, and then he's like, oh man, I see what you did there, and dies. And it's really weird, and, I mean, I don't know. Trying to figure that stuff out on your own would suck, but in this day and age, I mean, anything you want to know about anything, you can just look it up. So
Interweb, if you have it.
Yeah, some of that. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
interesting. I loved
This
like
newfangled
having to look on the
fingernet.
back of the box when I was like doing that one or trying to find like what's that codec I need to get in contact with that girl. That was really cool. Like just the way Hideo Kojima like figures out like how to make his game freaking weird. It's ridiculous I don't know why I said frickin' rather than fucking. Fucking weird. And then, so...
Well, say you can use candy curses if you like.
Yeah, candy curses. I like candy
Dag
curses. Do
nabbit.
you like candy curses?
They're fun.
Darn.
Is that like as good as... I love eating bubblegum.
I like making up my own and making them really
I
complicated.
like to drink Pepto-Bismol after I put a bunch of bubblegum in my mouth, and then... Wait, you might be peeking right there. Whatever, it's going to sound like
okay.
shit anyway.
Yeah.
But, hey, Lauren, what's up, man?
Not much.
Okay, what are you doing? Are you still working at
You've
that
been
one
sitting
blue
over there
place where you
quietly.
all have to wear blue and you do dances and you sing and dance for the community? Like
I have
in the
worked
back
there
room?
for over 5 years, and I have not once done that stupid cheer
Okay, cool.
ever.
Do you
That's
know the
good.
cheer?
Thank goodness.
No.
I don't know the cheer either.
Thank goodness
But-
gracious.
I saw it on my first day of orientation. I'm like, I am never doing that.
Okay. All right. Awesome. So what else has been going on for you, man? What are you playing?
Well, let's see. My World of Warcraft game time runs out in like 24 hours.
Okay.
So, I'm probably just going to be playing, I don't know, I have probably Skyrim on the computer now that I have it.
So it's like World of Warcraft and Skyrim. Like, okay, wait, your World of Warcraft stuff is running out. Are you trying to save money?
Yeah.
So you're not letting the World of Warcraft get you anymore?
Well, it's... Even I get burnt out on it every once in a while.
Wow.
So every once in a while, I just have to
Holy
like
shit!
stop playing for like
Yeah.
a month or so, and then maybe
And
go
then play
back
for
to
another
it.
5 years.
And then get hooked for another 6 months. And,
Yes.
But
How old is that game? It's like 11 years old, isn't it?
something?
You've only been playing since
I've only
like
been
when?
playing
2008?
for like 4 years or so.
2011?
I think I started in 2009.
Okay. All right. So
Yeah.
World of Warcraft. Have you tried any other MMOs? These massive online multiplayer games that everyone used to talk about and no one cares about anymore because World of Warcraft's the only game that will ever be popular in that genre.
Let's hope that all of what you just said picked up on the microphone.
Yeah, I might be speaking too fast for the thing. Anyway, I had some coffee today. Not so much food. I'm a little bit weird in
Wired.
the head right now.
Just a little wired.
But I'm a little weird in the head all the time. Anyway, go continue.
But no, I haven't actually played any other MMOs because I don't really have time with World of Warcraft. But some of them were interesting because I like Star Wars. I'm a Star Wars fan.
Right.
I would have loved.
Oh, me too.
I'd love to play that one, but I've
Jason, are you a
never
Star Wars
got
fan?
around to it.
Yeah.
Wes, are you a Star Wars fan?
Yeah.
Patrick, am I a Star Wars fan? Maybe.
Maybe, I don't know. I'll have to think about that.
Okay.
No,
I'm not sure anymore.
Patrick, how could you say no?
Yeah, I like Star Trek instead of Star Wars because they both have star in the first word, and they kind of relate because they both have outer space.
Yeah, Star Trek. I liked a lot of that too. But my problems with between Star Wars and Star Trek, almost all the aliens are humanoid.
Yes.
Whereas Star Wars, they actually have
They
more
do have an
believable-
explanation
No,
for
seriously,
that,
though, like what is the whole thing? Why did people compare those two at all? Because they're not. They're
Yeah,
so
I mean,
different.
They
completely
both
different.
they both
But-
start with star. That's why.
Yeah,
Right.
pretty much, and they're both science fiction-y, futuristic. Yeah, except
Okay.
Star Trek is like
There's
solid
nothing alike.
science.
I guess they're both
fiction
very
direction,
popular. That's the
and
thing, right? It's
Star
the two
Wars is
science fiction series that are
Star Wars is
extremely
kind of
popular.
more like science
Is it
fiction
that?
fantasy.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Okay. What do you like, Jason?
Uh,
Do you like Doctor Who? Is that the Are you one of those guys?
Our mom
More
actually
like
watched
Doctor Why, because
Let's talk about something else.
Then Doctor Who? I don't know anything about Doctor Who.
I don't either. That's why we should talk about something else.
Oh, like Doctor Who? Let's talk about it. Okay,
No.
so I love talking about things I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Well, it's better if somebody in the group knows something about it, and
I
I,
know
don't
there's
think
like
anybody
called
here
the
does.
TARDIS,
None
and
of
that kind
us-
of offends me. But
Yeah,
so
it's like the worst name for anything ever.
Quick, get in the tard.
yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
I don't like people using that word like that. So okay. Anyway,
What is Metal Gear?
yeah. What is a Metal
Metal Gear first went on sale in Japan on July 7th, 1987.
What would happen if I took away your script?
You know, keep reading.
No,
keep reading.
this is important. Everyone must know.
I'm taking a history lesson.
That
right now.
game was born with the notion fighting alone does not make a game, stealth is more important. Metal Gear had a huge impact on gamers and manufacturers alike. Not only was it new and original game design, but its story, full of plot twists and intricate human drama, garnished praise from the critics and made it into a huge international hit. The sequel, Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, released later, also received high praise. The release of Solid Snake would mark the last time that Metal Gear appeared on any platform. Nevertheless, Metal Gear series continues to be widely discussed as a visionary masterpiece. Today, the true vision of Metal Gear will be unveiled to fans across the world in the form of Metal Gear Solid, only for the PlayStation game console.
Hooray! Okay, so what do you think of that game?
That part is not in this manual. I believe you have something different, sir.
Hooray! Okay, so what did you think of that game?
That's good.
Good. Are you going to play the second game? Again, you've already played the second game. Which one's your favorite of the two?
Oh, man. Now, I kind of like...
The second game, right? I mean, it's the fucked up one, right?
Yeah, it gets...
Quit putting words in his mouth.
I want to put words in a lot of people's mouths. I'm going to talk for
I do
everyone.
kinda
Hello,
like-
I'm Jason. I just played Metal Gear. Now, I'm going to play Metal Gear 2 in a little bit. Actually, I hate it when Dan... Okay, on this other podcast that we listen to, this on their website, this Dan guy, oh my god, he always says Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2, and it's like, god damn it, just say Solid, because Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2 are completely different games.
Yeah.
But anyway, okay, say
And
more.
I have played those two as well. I kind of like the first Metal Gear Solid just because it's one of those weird early PlayStation 3D, like... I like those early 3D games where the developers didn't know what the hell they were doing, like Final Fantasy VII, Metal Gear Solid, Mega Man Legends, like where all of a sudden it's like, here's a, it could be a new franchise, an old 2D franchise, whatever, but now they have a console. They have all this storage space with the CDs, they have all kinds of 3D technology, and they don't know what to do with it. So it's neat to see them try and figure that out, and sometimes they make really cool games out of it. Sometimes they make dog shit, but either way, I'm intrigued just by the technical aspects of it. And for that, I'll always kind of like Metal Gear Solid because it's kind of like them trying to figure it out all of a sudden, but also make it as cinematic as possible. And then it's just a bunch of polygon people flapping their limbs around, but it still manages to look more realistic than, a lot of the games of the era. I kind of like it. But Metal Gear Solid 2 is pretty cool because it gets really crazy towards the end, but I'd have to play it again because I don't remember much.
It's really hard to remember anything about it. What?
Want to remember a really fun PlayStation game? Spyro.
Spyro.
Yeah, Spyro's good.
Spyro is awesome.
Yeah.
The first ones on PlayStation were actually
Now I haven't played any of the Spyro games. Have you guys tried those? Do you know that the fucking what is that thing? The new game Skylanders. That's a Spyro game.
Yeah.
Does that have any tie-in with the storyline or anything?
Really? Because there wasn't much of a story in the first place, but also it's like that game just seems like an excuse to sell weird little monster toys.
Yeah,
because
that's
they're
all it
awesome.
is.
You
that's
could
a
use
really cool gimmick.
They're cool little figures, but
Yeah.
I mean,
you can use Spyro
Hundreds of
in
dollars
the game
you gotta
or
sink
something,
into that.
but then it's all about
Well,
getting
that's
a little
the
figures.
point.
and
Have
using
either of
them.
you guys got any of those
No,
games?
no.
You got those?
no, I think once the Spyro game series when it started changing hands on companies,
Yeah.
it just got horrible and we stopped playing.
Okay.
So yeah, Insomniac used to make Spyro. They made the first 3 on PlayStation. They're great.
Yes.
Then I don't know.
Naughty Dog, I think, took over. At
No,
one point.
I heard
Naughty
that they-
Dog made Crash Bandicoot at the same time Insomniac made Spyro.
Right.
When the PlayStation 2 came around, Spyro and Crash Bandicoot were both products of Universal.
Okay.
So Naughty Dog and Insomniac had to make their own new properties for PlayStation 2.
Okay.
Insomniac made Ratchet and Clank,
which is awesome.
Naughty Dog made Jak and Daxter,
Which is also
those are
awesome.
great
And
games
then Naughty
too.
Dog went on to do way better shit.
But
when they did the fucking
basically,
Uncharted
they
games.
had to leave their first franchises behind because Universal owned them, and they ran them into the ground.
I heard
the
that
old
the-
later Spyro games sucked.
I heard that the Game Boy
wait.
Advance Spyro games were both garbage.
Wait.
They're,
yeah,
pretty
pretty
bad.
much.
They're just sort of weird little overhead
Weren't they kind of-
adventure games
Yeah.
it wasn't that good.
because we have them.
All right. Let me tell you guys a story, just for the audience's sake. I am Patrick, and I'm going to basically let the audience, whoever that is, like maybe it's just Scotty listening, probably, I don't know, basically know who we all are because, I don't know, people forget sometimes. And maybe if someone other than a friend listens to this at some point, maybe they'll be curious, at all, who we are. I don't know. I am.
And we look forward to
Yeah.
your hate mail.
Yay! I came here about 8 years ago. And basically I worked in a video production company. We can talk about that later, maybe. And I met Wes a while ago, and I met a bunch of cool people like Jason and Lauren in a house. That they live together in a house.
They're dead now.
And Wes and I dated for a while, and that was cool. And then basically we all like video games like we're talking about now, and that's it. And then so yeah, that's the story. Okay, shut me up.
We kind of just get together once a week and hang out and
Yeah. So we were doing this
games.
gaming night anyway, and we've been doing it for a while. And
Patrick's like, hey, let's do a podcast.
right. Well, Jason was like that too. I think. At one point, maybe he's changed his mind at this point, probably.
Oh yeah, this was a mistake. The worst thing I've ever done.
Yeah. Actually, all you guys,
I'm
yeah.
doing
So
some
we're
stuff.
going to do a podcast, and yeah, we're doing it now. That's a boring story. Done. Okay, moving on. Okay, Magical Forest and Wes.
Let's edit that part out.
That's probably a good idea. I'll leave it in because it's annoying.
Okay.
There are
Wait,
already
what?
mature sexual themes in
Right.
Metal Gear Solid.
I'm a mature sexual theme. Okay, so there we go.
You're mature sexual.
You want to know a game that I liked a lot better than Metal Gear
What?
Solid?
There's no such.
Yeah.
I defy you.
Tenchu.
Oh yeah. Why?
I never.
Because it was fun.
Okay. Yeah.
It was a stealth action game that was actually fun for me to play.
Right.
And
I don't. That's
the guards were super dumb, and you could just throw a poison rice dumpling right in front of their face,
Like,
Okay.
woo,
and they would just pick it up and eat it and die.
Right.
Like
right.
those bronze men eating the poison grass. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, my favorite stealth game was the Thief series on the computer, the Thief Deadly Shadows.
Wow.
That I loved that game. I played the Thief and the
Thief, I hear. Yeah.
Thief 2,
I hear
like,
some great
crazy.
stuff about Thief. That sounds
And
awesome.
the first Thief game.
Some of the sequels are like nowhere near as good as the originals
Yeah.
because, well, the original on the computer, the
Yeah.
others were designed for consoles.
Yeah.
There's limitations there.
Now wait a sec. It took you guys a long time. This is a sidetrack. I'm sorry. It took you guys a long time to get your like 360s and stuff. You guys were a little bit behind with your video game. I remember when I met you guys for the first time. Like you guys still had like you guys had PS2s when it like the 360 had been out for like years.
Yeah, it'd been a couple years. It's like usually we
Wii.
Yeah.
ended up waiting until the price drops because I mean when those were coming out, I didn't even have a job yet, so it was no money income, and it's like here's a console, it's $400, and it's like yeah, there's no way I'm getting that anytime soon.
Yeah.
And once I got expendable income, it's like hey, cool, I could buy this and see what everybody's talking about.
Right. So how'd you like it?
It's pretty awesome. It's like I still play the 360, even though the Xbox One has been out for what, a year now.
Yeah, it's been a while. I don't
It's
know.
like
when I'm
it'll probably be a long time before I get that. And now the PS4 is out, and we still never even got a PS3.
Yeah.
It's like I saw one on the shelf the other day, and it's like still $200 for a PS3, and it's like, well, maybe if it ever gets down to 100, I might buy a PS3.
Right.
I'd
Right.
like to play those Uncharted games, maybe the new Ratchet and Clanks.
Oh yeah, I'd love to see the new Ratchet and Clanks because we had all of them on the PlayStation 2. And
Right.
Pretty
when
much
it went to the
anything that wasn't
PS3,
already
it's like
released on the Xbox.
I want to play it because I love the Ratchet and Clank games. They were awesome, but yeah, I couldn't play that because it's exclusive to PlayStation. That's the only thing that is literally the only thing that I regret not having a PlayStation 3 for is the Ratchet and Clank.
So this last week, what has everyone been playing? Did we already go over that?
No,
Well,
Other
you've been
than
playing World
Jason
of Warcraft.
playing Metal
Yeah,
Gear.
I'm
You-
pretty much the same.
What have you been playing, Wes?
This
Point. It works on the podcast. I know it does. Okay.
I've kind of just been messing around a little bit with my Atari games again
Okay. Yeah.
because I can play it for a couple minutes
Okay.
and then put in another game.
What games on the Atari?
then after you're done playing, you can go outside and walk up to people and go, "Have you played Atari today?"
Because I have.
That's awesome. That sounds really
Yeah,
fun.
I don't.
That's the only reason
I was
wanted
playing
Atari.
some of
So you
Galaxian.
can do that to people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
No, that sounds fun. I like that.
I was playing some of Galaxian because it's one of the greatest games ever. I was also
Isn't it
playing
just Galaga in a different outfit?
Galaxian is actually the sequel to Galaga.
Oh.
Oh, that makes it even
Is
better.
there a story to Galaga and Galaxy? And
Shoot bug
Galaxia?
monsters. And he goes,
Yeah, I don't. I'm sure there is. You
Okay.
probably have to have the instruction manual
Okay.
or look it up on the internet to know because
Clear water pool supply. Where'd you get that,
Wikipedia.
Jason? There's a hat on you.
didn't you
Jason.
just find it in
It
your
says
closet?
clear water
Yeah.
pool supply.
I found
Yes.
it because my other hat broke.
Oh,
It's a random hat. We've got lots of random hats that
Your
When
other
this
hat
one
came
breaks, I'm
from.
gonna get a different one.
Your other hat said Almaden, right?
Yeah. And,
wait. How did one hat break? Did one hat break?
well,
Well, it's
that,
it's a snapback.
Oh,
and
okay.
within
Yeah, it's got the
plastic-
snaps on the
yeah,
back, and when
okay.
the
that
snaps
part
break.
broke, so
Okay,
I
okay.
can't use
All
it.
right.
But my old
Um,
hat did say Almaden on it, and I never did figure out what the hell Almaden is. If it's like a beer or a company or a place, I
There's
never
actually a
bothered
street
looking.
around here that's Almaden something.
Huh.
It's Almaden Road or
Maybe it was named
I
after
don't
the
remember.
street.
Yeah, they
Let's
could.
make a
Probably
hat
not.
after the street.
It was pretty bland of a hat.
But
I kind of liked it because of that.
let's see. I also was playing a little bit of Yar's Revenge again, because that's also one of the greatest Atari games ever.
Okay.
And that one was actually made for Atari 2600
Okay.
and not just an arcade port.
Okay.
It did suck like everything else.
Yar's Revenge is pretty cool. That's like a famous thing, isn't it? Like people like talk
Howard
a lot
Scott
about the guy.
Warshaw.
Howard Scott Warshaw. Who is that guy?
He's the guy who programmed that ET game everyone
He
does.
programmed the ET game
right.
and he also programmed Yar's Revenge and some other
Right.
good ones.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah,
That ET game everyone talks about because it like killed the industry because it's like the worst game ever made.
So let's not talk about it ever.
But Yar's Revenge is a
Everyone
pretty
is
fascinating game. That's a nice game, isn't it?
Yeah, and I actually read the comic book that comes with that game. Although I don't have
what-
it, I just looked it up.
Can you
There was a
describe? Can you
comic.
do your best to describe
Yeah.
with words what you do in Yar's Revenge?
You're a square
Yeah,
shooting other squares with
well,
squares.
That sounds about right.
well,
That's
I
kind of
can-
like every Atari
I can
game,
I
isn't
can
it?
explain it a little bit better just because I read the comic. Although
Yeah.
it's been a while.
Yes.
You are a Yar,
Yes.
which is
Whoa, that's way more than I thought existed in this game. That's a pretty good story so far. Okay, keep going.
yeah. I'm gonna keep going if you don't interrupt me.
I'm trying. Hold on.
And basically, they're a race that has evolved from the common housefly, and
Ooh.
like there were some houseflies that got on a space shuttle,
Yes.
and ended up on a planet,
Yes.
and they evolved into a humanoid race.
That sounds amazing.
And there's this other race, I can't remember the name of them, and they're assholes, and they have like a mega death weapon, but it's not complete, so the Yars are going over to try and destroy it. And
Where does the revenge part come in?
oh, what was I think it's something like the Yars inhabit a couple of planets, and one of them was destroyed by the death weapon. Something like that. So they're
so you're like a bug that's getting revenge for the death weapon destroying your home.
I don't quote me on this because it's been a while since I read the comic, but it's something like that.
Wow. Wait, there's a comic?
Yeah, the game came with a comic book. I don't have it, but I
Like
looked it up
Sword Quest.
online so I could read the story.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that
because
sounds
without a story,
Wow.
most Atari games is square with
Yeah.
other square.
So basically,
Okay.
in the game, there's this thing called the Quotile.
What?
Quotile
Sorry,
zone.
that was a loud.
I'm probably pronouncing it awfully, but it's this weird glitchy area where you're safe from this little slow moving laser
Yes.
weapon that follows you around everywhere. And then but you can't shoot when you're in there.
Okay.
So you're shooting the shield
Yeah.
that is surrounding the death laser,
Yeah.
whatever that's called.
Yes.
And then you have to touch it,
Right.
and then that activates your big weapon, and you have to aim
Yes.
your weapon with
Yes.
yourself,
Right.
and then you push the button to fire it, and then move out of the way,
Right.
because it'll kill you.
Okay.
And then you destroy their death weapon, and then it goes all glitchy, and you get points,
Okay.
and then
And
it
then
goes
it's
to
repeat.
and then rinse repeat, but it gets harder, and there's certain points where that
I
will
never rinse and repeat.
well,
Gonna
you
get a
should maybe
disease.
try sometime.
I don't rinse. I do the repeat part. I just don't rinse.
Oh,
Oh, that sounds gross.
Okay.
I just
weird
repeat,
Cat actually
repeat,
had a
repeat.
I'll
comic
take
book.
that into consideration.
because it reminds me of
Yeah.
Sword Quest, and I actually read all three of the Sword Quest comics for Earth World, Fire World, and Water World. And we're not talking that Kevin Costner thing.
That wasn't an adaptation? I totally thought it was.
no, but Sword Quest. Yeah, it was kind of cool. Like, by the end of those 3 comics, I was sort of invested in the characters and what they were doing. But then, of course, Sword Quest Airworld, which was going to be the last game, never got made because that was when the video game crash happened, and there's better sources than I on internet to talk about that. But anyway, it's like, no more comic, and it's like, well, that sucks. Yeah. So it just ends.
Okay.
On a
Yeah, it probably would have actually wrapped up the story if
it would have. So,
well, I don't want to read that because I don't want to get like all sucked in and then have to...
For what it was kind of cool, and you had to read the comic while you're playing the game to like figure out clues of what the hell you're doing.
Okay, because I hate it when I get sucked into a show and then I can't finish it until like I have to wait like a week, and then it's like by the end of the week, like, oh my god!
And at this point, you would have to finish the story yourself and draw your own comic book,
right?
Or you get a really good show that you're watching,
sounds like a fun idea,
and then they cancel it like halfway through the season. You're like, what happened?
They ran out of money.
I loved it. Oh, nobody else liked it.
That's never happened to me. That sounds terrible. If they
it sucks to actually, you start liking a show and then they cancel it, or they move it to a off-channel station because it didn't do well, and you don't get that station.
Right. Now, I love Power Rangers, and you just showed me something about a Power Ranger thing where they actually tried to make a short film about the Power Rangers in a bloody, gruesome way. And
it's from I didn't watch a whole lot of Power Rangers, so I don't know a lot about it.
Yeah.
But from what I could see, it was probably like 15, 20 years after the Power Rangers.
Right. It's on YouTube. It's like 14 minutes. It's amazing. Like,
and, I mean, they really
it's
like...
actually not amazing. I actually I don't like it a little bit. But
yeah, Patrick doesn't like the acting.
Pretty quick on that. Like,
and
it's okay.
I just watched it while I was talking about it.
Yeah, and then they really like to use special effects.
I love it again
with
now. I love
computer effects. But it was kind of interesting because it's like they kind of put it to whereas like the Power Rangers were kind of duped into doing what they did, and it causes like the world to get taken.
I have to watch that. I have to watch that for reals.
The world gets taken over by some robot empire or something, and the Power Rangers kind of led the way for them to come in and just take it over. And it shows them dying in horrible, bloody ways.
Okay. I know. Well, except the blood looks hella fake because it's like so low budget. But still, it's actually interesting. I like the concept of taking Power Rangers and like bringing it back somehow in this way.
But it's like bloody and gritty.
Right. I mean, when I watched that show as a kid, like that was like so much.
Yeah, it's cheesy because it's a kids show.
Yeah,
we don't get violent and stuff. Well, they have weapons, but they don't use them.
Right, Wes. So, when you saw Power Rangers for the first time...
I was 5.
Yeah. What was that like?
My brother woke me up really early in the morning, and I was like, what? I want to sleep.
Rubbing his eyes all...
Rubbing my eyes like a little dickhead.
Me alone.
And my brother was like jumping up and down on my bed saying, you have to watch this show, it's the greatest thing ever. And, so he finally convinced me to go watch the show, and then as soon as the opening credits started with that song, I was jumping up and down on the couch going, this is the greatest show ever! And that's the first time I watched the Power Rangers.
I remember you telling me that story a bunch of times. That's a great story. And because that is how it is. Like, I remember seeing the Power Rangers for the first time, and it was freaking like crack. There's another one of those candy, what do you call them? Swear word, candy swear words. I love those things. Okay, so like, anyway, but it's amazing. Like, I mean,
it just
Power
turns
Rangers was
on
really
like
cool.
this all hell of special effects. That fucking rock music theme starts playing. It just gets you amped up, and it's like 10 in the morning, and you're screaming. Your parents are like, shut the hell up! I'm trying to sleep. God damn it! And you're like, no, it's the best thing ever. I want to buy all the toys. If you buy all the toys, you can make a Megazord with you.
Yes, I mean that is like it's just the most amazing thing. You're just explosion,
and then the whole rest of the day is like slow motion. You're just going around. Billy, did you clean your room?
Yeah,
you are a monster.
Yeah,
I want a monster attacking so I can kill it with a super weapon. Megazord.
I mean, they figured out a way to like to basically simulate the experience of like doing cocaine for kids with visuals.
Something like I would assume.
And that was awesome because, kids should know what that's like.
Well, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Introduce them to it early.
I remember when I was little and it's like, I always watched the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. and it come on. It's like I woke up early one day, and it's like turn on the TV, and it's like, where's the Ninja Turtles? Where's the Ninja Turtles? I want to watch it. It wasn't on yet. I went in and woke my mom up, and it was like way early, and she's like, well, that doesn't come on until like 10 o'clock or something. And it's like, but I want to watch it now. So I ran out to the kitchen and I like changed the clock to 10 o'clock. And I went back and I'm like, okay, it's 10 o'clock. Why isn't it on?
That's awesome. Like, that's a good strategy. So what was your mom's reaction? Did she fall for it?
She had to get up and come out and look at it, and it's like, I changed the clock. And so she changed it back and then like popped in a tape that she'd recorded some on, and I watched that instead.
Wow. That is awesome.
It
You
was
thought
funny.
that putting it to 10 o'clock would make it
Would
come
actually
on.
make it come
That's
on.
hilarious. That's awesome. That's good logic. I like that. That's my kind of logic.
Why isn't it on?
I mean, it's 10 o'clock, right? You made it 10
Exactly.
o'clock. It makes it 10 o'clock everywhere. It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Which is actually pretty good because, you know, it was one of the, you know, actual dial clocks that, not digital, so you have to actually be able to read time.
I think Jason's bored.
We lost Jason.
He's looking at the wall.
Jason is really
I'm just
having a tough time
staring
staying there.
cross-eyed at the wall, drooling slightly.
So, all right. So, anything else you guys want to talk about?
Oh boy, that's
This
a
was
really broad
this
question.
was our third podcast.
I was playing Super Mario RPG. That's a fun game.
Wow.
Is not it?
That sounds amazing. That's like two things that I kind of like. I love Mario.
And I love Super.
And I love Super, exactly. I fucking
Super
hate
is the
RPGs.
best.
Screw those things.
But it's more Mario than anything else. No, it's a fun game. It's cool.
It's made by the guys that made Final Fantasy.
Yeah, Squaresoft.
Right,
They made
Squaresoft,
it
before they
back in
did
the day.
Square Enix, before they became the two companies that... But, so I've never played Super Mario RPG. That is a Super Nintendo game. That is a... How does it compare? What game is it most similar to? Like, if you knew, like, some good RPGs like Final Fantasy or...
It's maybe more similar to Chrono Trigger.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
I'd say that.
Just,
Is it like
just in the fashion that when you're running around the overworld maps,
Right.
you see the monsters that you can fight running around. There's no
Yeah.
random encounters. You see
Oh.
a guy on the map.
Okay.
you can
You want
avoid
to
it,
fight him,
or
you can
can
avoid
try
him,
and
fight
yeah.
him.
Yeah.
You run into him, whatever, and the
Right.
fight starts.
And like
Right.
like with the Goombas and stuff, if you manage to jump on them and to start the fight, you get to start the fight by bouncing off their head. And it
no,
does
that
damage,
wasn't.
or-
That was until
Or
Mario
was that the other one?
and
Yes.
Luigi
The
and
Mario
Paper
and Luigi,
Mario.
yeah.
Paper
Yeah.
Mario did that first, but Super Mario RPG, like the battles were more fun because it's still turn based. Like here's Mario's turn, have him attack or whatever.
Yeah.
But every single or most attacks in the game, you could time the hit with an extra button press. So like Mario punches the Goomba or whatever, right? If you press the A button at the right time, he'll punch him twice. So it
And then
gave you
he
an
had
incentive.
he had the one ability where he could literally just bounce on one
Yeah, you
enemy
could jump
forever.
on a guy for 100 jumps in a row is the max.
Yeah.
But anyway, you can, by doing that, it makes you stay a little more focused during the battles. Because if you do well with the timing of the button presses, you do better in the fight. It's not just like, oh, I'm level whatever. Here's some wieners. Just press button until
Yeah.
it's over.
Yeah.
It made you pay attention, but it was also fun.
Okay.
It wasn't like most RPGs where you can fall asleep just waiting for random battles to get over with.
Anyway.
It's really fun. It's a good game. Everyone should play it. It has great music and characters. Story's actually surprisingly good.
Yeah.
I probably won't play it.
Dude, what? I just said play it.
It even had
have
like a
to.
Final Fantasy boss
No.
in
I'm
it.
not going to play it
Yes.
either.
Does no one listen to anything? Like I just said.
Lauren, don't play it. Don't play it. Don't play it. Don't play it, Lauren. Don't play
I
it.
beat it like a million times.
Oh, you played it?
Yeah,
Oh, fuck.
that was a fun game.
Aha!
Fuck that game. All right.
It's the best.
So, okay, so there was a third podcast. We kind of went a lot of places, obviously. That was weird. Okay, and so what was the last one thing I wanted to ask Jason, Mr. Sonic and Mega Man expert? What was the last
That's
thing
me.
that came out that was released by Sonic? Like, okay,
What?
of the whole thing.
Sonic never released a game.
Oh, come on, he did. No, I mean like not games, not
That
comics.
game was columns and it sucked.
What was the last thing that came out? Was it a comic book? Like anything
Well,
Sonic related.
probably because they make a couple
Those
of
every
Sonic
month.
comics every month.
Right, but how recently did Sonic Boom come out?
It came out last November, I think,
Okay.
and it was bad.
Last November. Okay, so a comic definitely came out since then, right?
Oh yeah, Jason.
Lots.
Yeah, I mean,
Have you
they-
read the most
One,
recent
like,
comic?
every month.
Yes, I have.
Okay, what is it about? What's going on in it?
I'm trying.
Just start
to
with anyone's story arc. Don't even worry about the whole thing. Just like, let's say Sonic,
All
or
right.
let's say just what is Sonic sad or happy at the beginning?
Does it cover the games?
So yeah, like
What game
the
are they
comics-
working on right now?
The comics sort of have their own characters and story. They always do, but then they also sort of like slip in the events of certain games.
Yeah.
Right now, the simplest way I can put this, the comics are currently sort of doing the story from Sonic Unleashed.
Okay.
And also a little bit of Sonic the Fighters, the arcade game.
Okay.
And that is what is going on, except, you know, it's not that simple. But if I were to explain more of it, everyone would go insane. And that's...
So if the entire state of Sonic was to be summed up by the last thing that came out relating to Sonic, would it be, where would it be? On a scale of chili dog to hot dog?
Which is better?
stained napkin.
Yes! All right, there we go. And cut.